I went out to go to the food store this morning and I saw a tag sale in the neighborhood. And it was particularly enticing to go because it said in-house sale as opposed to, one that's set up in a driveway or something. And that was noteworthy because it's like hurricane force winds today and it's freezing. So I did not want to peruse junk in this kind of weather. So I went and I got this box, and I also got a pedestal fan and 3 all metal box fans, one of which is probably worth something. I've never seen anything like it. Now granted, it is older than what I typically work with, but it's I guess it's more of a window fan, like a double window fan, but it looks like a suitcase, and it's got 2 handles. You can orientate it verticam or horizontal. It's a really unusual piece. I've never seen one before. I only paid $27 in total for everything. That was all I had with me, and the lady, I asked her, give me a price for all this stuff, and if I don't have the money, I'll just go back home. We live a couple blocks over. And she kind of said what I often say when I buy things for cheap. She told me I was doing her the favor by getting the stuff out of there. The 27 was fine. She probably would have taken $5 for this stuff, but I knew what, one of the fans was a GE, and the other one, like I said, is probably worth something. So for the sake of not, being dishonest and scamming her like people do on eBay, I gave her what I had, and that was well worth it. Definitely exceeded the value of what is here. So we'll take a look what we got. It was a beautiful old house, probably 70s era. It had a lot of smaller rooms. The paneling had a couple walls of mirrors. Really beautiful house. It was like, one of those places that was the definition of what I wish I could have bought. Totally untouched. Original carpets and everything. It was beautiful. It was in good shape too. Anyways, let's see what we got here. And we'll have separate videos for those fans, and we'll make separate videos of some of the stuff in here too. So, this is mostly Christmas stuff, but I threw a couple other stuff in here from the garage. The Holmes Air with that cool logo, or the high stop. This one is red, which is out of the ordinary. I don't know if that was painted by the owner or if it came like that. I've never seen that before, so I thought that was kind of interesting. It looks like it's factory to me. If it's not factory, someone did a very good job. So that's kind of unique. This is that a model number on here? No. So there's that. We did get some kitchen stuff. We got a tomato. I don't know what you would put in here. I guess maybe like potatoes or onions, perhaps. I like fruit themed stuff for the kitchen. And we got a matching teapot. And we got a matching set of salt and pepper shakes. There was a tray for those in here. Here it is. And we know this is good stuff, good quality stuff, because it's made in Japan. That's probably why none of it's broken. So these are kind of neat. Oh, this one's all sticky. Well, we got some cleaning to do. I wonder how the heck do you fill this? Maybe the bottom comes off, I don't know. Okay, so there's that stuff for the kitchen. Actually, this is kind of for the kitchen as well. This is just a plastic tray. It's a Santa for cookies or what have you. We got some old vacuum bags, vacuum belts for two different models. I'm sure these belts are not good anymore, but I like old packaging, so I thought these packages were interesting. Can hang these up in the studio here. Huh? Oh, actually they don't seem too bad. Now the carpets were in good condition. I'm not surprised. This is what's been cleaning them over the years. Alright, next we have a Torin TA450, the Fian, model AC0, nowhere does it say C, model A30108-10. And this looks like this might have been some kind of a custom build to hang on a bench or something, I don't know. This is the adapter piece that was mentioned for the Pabst fan. It's the same type of plug, I think. And this one had a lead nicely soldered on here so that the cord could be longer. And this is the cord, an old like 70s era plug on there. That's kind of neat. If this works properly, we'll be using this during Christmas time for those diode contraptions. Here is a portable light. This looks pretty old. It's got an interesting plug on there. This wire is stiff as can be. It's probably good enough for a test, but it's definitely not in the best of condition anymore. And this whole thing is kind of starting to dry rot out, which is unfortunate. And it's got an old inside frosted bulb in there, incandescent probably. I don't see any information about the wattage, so that's pretty cool. And then we have another or a switch. This is an inline switch. I particularly like. You know, it's very dark over here. Let me put the lights on behind us. I have a bunch of lights over here that just kind of shine some light backwards because it does get a little bit too dark behind the camera sometimes. And this is one of those times. Alright, once those CFLs warm up, that should correct this a little bit. In fact, I can turn this light on too. That doesn't do much. Well, anyways, this is a General Electric switch, inline switch. I like these for lamps. They're very easy to use. Oh, this is not a General Electric one. It's a Bryant. That's cool. Always good to have a bunch of those on hand. I got a bunch of vintage cleaning brushes. These were used in the garage. They're not what do you call it? A biohazard. Just kind of interesting to see what toothbrushes look like over the years. I vaguely remember ones like this when I was very young. So we'll clean these up and we'll use these for various cleaning projects. They're all in good shape still, not worn down, just need to be cleaned. This unbranded, completely unbranded, no specifications, nothing. I guess this is an extension cord, you would call this. It's not really a power bar. Not even a power switch or anything on there. It's plastic, at least the bottom is metal. Doesn't seem particularly old. Maybe the outlet seems kind of old though. The outlet seems a lot older than the cord is. Interesting piece though. Just wrap this up real quick so it doesn't make a mess on the table. Okay, we got some, one more thing from the garage. Vintage oil can, where we can put 3-in-1 in the blue can, non-detergent. Alright, now I think the rest of the stuff is all Christmas. I don't really know what's in here, quite frankly. I just saw a bunch of Christmas stuff. I said, perfect, I'll grab Christmas stuff. And I just threw some stuff on top of it. So some of the stuff I didn't necessarily intend to buy. It just happened to be in there. But I'm sure it's all good. It's all old. Here's some stick-on jumbo bows. And these are certainly a lot more interesting than the ones that we get today. It's a nice old package. The package is more interesting to me than anything else about this. 99 cents. General merchandise. That's neat. Looks like there's a bunch of lights in here. That's good. 6 bows and ribbons. Another kind of a nice package. It's only 50 cents. And this has $1.29 up here. These have got to be pretty old. Some unbranded bows. Not as interesting because there's no package. Alright, now we're getting into the interesting stuff here. Well, we have a bah humbug hat. This is probably pretty old too, and it looks like it might have some electronics to it, so we'll have to see if there's batteries that need to be canceled out in there. There probably are. And in this we have a old school stocking. At the start it says Season's Greeting. Alright, now we're getting into the more interesting stuff. We have some lights to come. So here's some vintage ornaments. They were made in China, of course. And now for some lights. These are all good old school lights. The good kind with the thin wires. So it looks like this has the those things for the star. That's kind of unusual to have a whole string of that. with that. We got another set of what looks like the same thing. And chances are good these all work. They're all put away nicely. We've got a Santa candy cane thingy. I guess it would be a tree ornament. Or maybe a wall decoration. The heck are these? I've never seen lights like that before. There's 2 strings of them here. I feel like there's got to be something else that goes with these. I don't know. I have never seen that before. Oh, we got another string of the lights with the... I always know these to go on tree topper stars. We got 3 strings of those. And a 4th string of those. And then whatever the heck these are. Here's a... Oh, I know what these are. Oh, these are little bubble lights. These are probably worth $27 alone. These are tiny little bubble lights. That is so cool. I have never seen ones like this before. That is awesome. That is so cool. And here's a little basic clear string. I'm gonna have to check those out tonight. That is so cool. Here's a star. Woolworths. Ooh. Here's a fancy star with an angel. That's pretty nice. From give us $7. This must be a little bit newer. Could be 90s still. We got a bunch of spare bulbs here of varying types. We've got some ornament hooks. And we've got some spare bulbs for the tree toppers, I guess. And we've got miscellaneous spare bulbs. That's dated 1996. And we've got some 3.5 volts from Kmart. Whoever owned this house is very meticulous, functions similar to the way I do. Oh gosh, I almost fell. I'm sure all this stuff works. We've got some candles. Looks to be pretty much new. Even the bubble wrap was put back over the light. It's got one of those orange and yellow flame tip bulbs. I really like those. I have a lot of nostalgia to those. This one's automatic, so it turn on and off with daylight. It's kind of cool. And we've got another one of those. Looks to be in the same condition. There's something up there in handwriting, but I don't know what that means. And we've got some basic window candles. These have definitely seen some sun, but these are all nicely tied together and perfectly preserved over the years, as much as they could have been for something that sits in the sun. We got Charlie's stocking. We can just turn it around and put someone else's name on there. We've got some more ornament hooks. We've got some multicolor tinsel type garland. That's kind of unique. Another piece of that. We have Merry Christmas from the Diabetes Research in 2002. And this appears to have never been used. Lots of ornament hooks. It's a nice ornament. We've got a vintage tree skirt. This might even be homemade. Oh, I bet this is what those bulbs in there were for. Some kind of circular tree topper star thing, I guess. Yeah, that's a star. And I bet those are the bulbs in there. And I have this kind of trippy piece of paper. And lastly, we have a collapsible sled. It's kind of interesting. And that's that. So, in combination to all this Christmas stuff and the 4 fans, I mean, this is hundreds of dollars worth of equipment here. Not that it matters, because as we say all the time, I'm not a store, I don't sell things. But case in point, this is why I like the estate sales, because I met a couple interesting people there. This stuff has a story now. It was inexpensive. It's all good quality stuff. Likely all was, owned by the same person. This is how it used to be back in the 2010s. Estate sales disappeared with COVIDs, and at least in this area, they pretty much never came back, which is a real bummer. The majority of my collection, for all different kinds of things I have, was built by going to estate sales like this. And it's just kind of become a thing on the past, unfortunately. But this is some really cool Christmas stuff here. Some of this stuff I think is probably very valuable. These bubble lights have got to be worth something. I've never seen ones like this before, and everything here is just so nicely preserved. I bet it all works. Alright, so that's what we got today. A couple fans not pictured here. We'll have separate videos of those fans later, and we will definitely have some separate videos of this Christmas stuff.